So I was going through the comments recently and I saw this. I've always been aware of it, but I've not had many people in real life comment on my voice being deep, partially because I don't talk very much in real life, I mostly just observe, but also just because, how do you bring that up in conversation? That would just be like, well, hello there, my name is Sarah. It's good to meet you, Sarah. My name's Beth. Has anyone ever told you you have the voice of a middle-aged trucker? So it seems like girls with deep voices only come in two flavors, either sexy or intimidating. I can understand the intimidating bit more just because, in my very reliable research, deeper voices come across sounding as more authoritative and competent. I've noticed myself dropping the tone of my voice whenever I'm nervous to sound like I know more than I do, which probably sounds weird if you also find deep voices attractive, because then it's like, hello, I'll have a large pepperoni with cheese stuffed crust and a side of breadsticks with ranch. Are you going to sexually assault the pizza place via phone every time we need a delivery? I will if it means you'll start making the scary phone calls. But going back to deep voices being either sexy or intimidating, as a pubescent teenager, I couldn't see anything about myself being sexy. And so I just assumed that my voice being deep was really intimidating to people. Also because I noticed that a lot of Disney villainesses had deep voices, so I associated deepness with evilness, and I always had to be the villain in my sister and my games. So when I hit college, I really thought that my deep voice could only be seen as off-putting, partially because a lot of people when they met me, I was friends with plenty of people, but they said that when they first met me that they thought I was really intimidating. And part of that was probably the deep voice, but also because I only ever wore black and had constant resting bitch face. But then people would get to know me and they realized that I'm just weak and squishy. But people would say that I seemed scary at first. And I relished that. I relished that people were scared of me because I thought if people are scared of me, they won't try to hurt me. But then as people would get to know me, then they'd get past the contralto voice and the resting bitch face and the emo wardrobe, and it'd be like, oh my god, you guys, have you seen this doggo? Have you seen this good boy? I see the cringe. Also, your screen turned off. But as time went on in college, I did start to get lonely because no one would talk to me because they were scared of me. And so I would get nervous and make my voice higher so that people would talk to me. I wonder if there are a bunch of girls who have normal sounding voices, but they secretly have really deep voices. They're just making it higher because they don't want to sound like Ursula trying to steal someone's voice. You can only keep that up for so long though. I would purposely make my voice higher when I was trying to get to know people later in college. And then when they would get to know me, I would drop it and talk in my regular voice. And then it would be like, hi, it's good to meet you. Oh, hello, it's good to meet you too. Hey, do you mind handing me that book? Thank you. What? Did you just come out of an exorcism? I don't think of my voice as intimidating anymore, but I also don't see it as sexy. Just because I think to have a sexy voice, you have to have the right accent. And I don't know what accent this is. I've noticed that a lot of women in the top 10 sexy voices list, they tend to have Midwestern accents, smooth voices, and deep husky voices. But also in my research, I realized that the huskiness is the main draw because the breathier your voice sounds, kind of like Marilyn Monroe, it sounds like you're constantly about to have sex. So the deepness of a voice has nothing to do with it. So I really do just sound like the ugly stepsister from Shrek. So yeah, maybe my deep voice really is just intimidating. But I want to know your thoughts. Maybe my deep voice really does just make me sound like a cross-dressing sea witch. Or maybe you're into that and you find deep voices attractive rather than intimidating. Maybe you are also a deep voice female and also get confused as a trans girl. I don't know. Tell me in the comments below. And I guess whenever I post next, then I will see you. Much love.